Hi dear friends, this is BB Ukraine Analytics and I'm Olena Vostrova. Today I work in an unusual format without Bogdan Butkevich, but as usual I will give you the top news, analytics and insights from Ukraine and about Ukraine. So subscribe for our channel if you want to know the insider information about what's really going on here in Ukraine. The first top news that really created a great deal of tension and escalation in Russia's war against Ukraine is two Belarusian helicopters that on the 1st of August violated airspace of Poland as if during military training. Suffice it to mention that Poland is a NATO country and Belarus is a proxy of Russia. So we can state the fact that Russia launched a next stage of hybrid war it is trying to wage against NATO. Poland, in its turn, now pushes complete isolation of Belarus, calling for measures to punish Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. But actually, it is not Lukashenko who is in charge of the escalation, but the Russian President Putin. No doubts that Lukashenko, as well as the terrorist group Wagner, is under the Putin's control and act in accordance with the instructions from the Kremlin. Eastern mass media, Bloomberg for instance, writes that Wagner Group staged an aborted mutiny and decamped to Belarus. But actually now it is getting clear why this mutiny was staged and aborted. The goal was to create an illusion that Wagner Group is a sort of independent unity and got out of Putin's control, which is actually not true. Because Wagner Group is a part of Russian army that is carrying out the special, the most criminal and disgusting orders of Putin. And now when Wagner troops are moving closer and tension is getting higher on NATO's border with Belarus, the leaders of NATO members, Poland and Lithuania, held an urgent meeting and warned against provocations and sabotage actions from neighboring Belarus. Poland's defense minister, Mariusz Błyszczak, said, "Our response to the provocation is to increase the size of the Polish army on the eastern border of the country by redeploying troops from the west. In accordance with the applicable law, soldiers in a specific situation can use weapons. They are not defenseless." Consequently, Poland transfers combat helicopters to the borders with Belarus. Apparently, Putin is preparing for the hybrid war against Poland and its neighbors. And all this started with the actions of the Belarusian soldiers who are now trained by Wagner Group. And I should say that this is not the first such manipulation by Putin. Previously, Putin and Lukashenko tried to break through the border with the help of migrants. Lukashenko checked Poland's borders, checked how the border guards would act. The Poles' statement that the helicopters will be ready to use weapons for protection against hybrid provocations is very important. After all, the only language Putin understands is strength, force, power. Therefore, there should be a strong, decent fight back. Remember how the Russian warplane was shot down by Turkish F-16 fighter jets, purportedly after it violated Turkish airspace. Then Putin resented, but understood everything and ceased to provocate. And that's the only adequate reaction to the terrorist provocations. Putin is now sort of palpating the borders of NATO, looking for NATO's weaknesses, looking for where he can open another war front. Putin always starts with a hybrid war and then continues with a real one. In Crimea and Donbass, everything started with little green men. Now on the borders with Poland, everything starts with the terrorist Wagner Group, who created an illusion as if it is beyond the control of either Lukashenko or Putin. That is why it is very important not to delay the adequate fight back. and not to allow Putin to destroy the borders, rules, and the international law. The second top news is about the public diplomatic scandal between Ukraine and Poland. Russia continues attacking the Ukrainian economics. The goal is to destroy the Ukrainian agriculture. Putin wants to replace Ukrainian products with Russian ones. He wants to raise prices and sell products that Russians steal from Ukrainians. This could lead to the famine in the global south. And this is what Putin is dreaming about. The increase in food prices and famine should create a wave of migrants to Europe, which should lead to destabilization in European countries, which in its turn should cause dissatisfaction among European voters, who, as Putin dreams, will want to change their government that will be loyal to Putin and will agree to fulfill all of his conditions, will cooperate with him. He wants to be a survivor for Europe that will pay him with the Ukrainian sovereignty and lands. That's how the delusion in the head of Russian dictator Putin looks like. And what is on the minds of the Poles? The Polish Ministry of Agriculture announced that they are going to maintain restrictions on the import of Ukrainian agricultural products even after September 15, even if the European Commission decides otherwise. Previously, Poland did not deny that the restrictions would be lifted, and this was agreed upon. And during the negotiations with the President Zelensky, President Andrzej Duda promised that Poland will prepare its market for Ukrainian products and will protect its farmers, who also receive subsidies from the European Commission. But scandals with corruption schemes began, and we, together with the Poles, had to concentrate on solving this problem. But instead, the Poles decided to extend the restrictions. And thus they tried to justify the political interests of the Law and Justice Party, which is afraid of losing control and power. The Polish authorities are afraid that farmers will not vote for them in the next elections. And in this way, they show the farmers that they sort of care about them. Although in reality, all these are just petty political calculations. And the victim of such political ambitions is the Ukrainian economy. This is not the interests of Ukraine, and actually it is not the interests of Poland. This is the interest of Putin, who today gives orders to destroy the Ukrainian economy and the Ukrainian state. Therefore, this week a diplomatic scandal between Ukraine and Poland took place. The Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland, Paweł Jabłoński, stated that the relations between Warsaw and Kiev today are not the best, and the Ukrainian side has some emotions. Before this, there were a whole series of scandalous statements. On August 1st, the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry invited the ambassador of Poland, Bartosz Cichocki, because of the statement of head of the International Policy Bureau at the Presidential Chancellery of the Republic of Poland, Marcin Przydacz. He said that Ukraine should start appreciating the role that Poland has played for Ukraine in recent months and years. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine emphasized that statements about the alleged ingratitude of Ukrainians for Poland's assistance are untrue and unacceptable. In response, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Poland invited the ambassador of Ukraine due to statements by representatives of the Ukrainian authorities. Against this background, the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, wrote, "We will not allow any political moments to spoil the relations between the Ukrainian and Polish people, and emotions should definitely cool down." He added that Ukraine is grateful to every nation that helps and extremely appreciates the historical support of Poland, which together with us has become a real shield of Europe. It seems that the conflict is related to the impulsivity and ingratitude of the Ukrainians, but in fact, all this is connected with the supply of Ukrainian products, corruption schemes, and the desire of the Polish authorities to manipulate the electoral moods of the farmers. At the same time, the Polish authorities emphasize, "We are guided by the policy of Polish national interests. We support Ukraine to the extent where it corresponds to Polish national interests. It's always been like that, and it will be like that." But in reality, all this corresponds to the interest of the Russian dictator Putin, who, I repeat, set himself the goal to destroy the Ukrainian economy and the state. And this does not correspond to the interests of Ukraine. It doesn't correspond to the interest of Poland, which helps Ukraine and is interested in preserving its integrity as a state. And this is the case not only of the security of Poland, but of the entire European Union. That's all for today. Please write your comments and questions right under this video. Give us your like and subscribe for our channel, the channel of top news, analytics and insights from Ukraine and about Ukraine. Here we give you the Ukrainian worldview for the world. Here we tell you the truth about Ukraine and Ukrainians without censorship and propaganda. So subscribe for our channel if you want to know what's really going on here in Ukraine from the inside. See you in the next videos. Pa-pa!